Kovu to the space. Like that's so cool to see, man. Like I'm pretty sure everybody watching right now is just staring at Mark and Kovu right now because I am. That's what I'm doing.
His eyes are incredible, man. What a beautiful dog, man. And with that said, 21 million. We're happy to have you here today. How you doing?
Pretty well. Thank you guys again for having me here. As most people know, Crypto.com and Kronos, the decentralized side ambassador. For me, I think it's cool, man, because you see a lot of cartoon animals. So to actually have something with a real animal and the real animal live on here, it's definitely interesting to see.
Yeah.
So
And
appreciate
from
you
what
guys
I
having me.
understand, a dog owner that's been doing this before meme coins, right? He said they've been doing this for years, building on social medias and all that. So, this isn't about Mark and Kovu finding, an industry and taking advantage of it. This is something that they've been doing and they naturally found something that made a lot of sense to get involved with, right? So, I can't wait to dive deeper more about Kovu and this project, to be honest with you guys. But with that said, we got Player One Taco in the house too. What's up, brother?
GM, man, how are you doing? You're not at an airport today.
I am not at an airport today. No travel today, man. Back
And,
home.
and I'm back. I'm not in Mexico, so I don't got a beach behind me, man. It's good to
Man,
see everyone here.
Beach does sound nice though, my man. We appreciate you being here though with us today.
Yeah. No, it is an amazing hump day. I mean, and yeah, like you can't like the market is good. Everyone's sort of scared of how everything happened yesterday, and you know, I like this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just another Wednesday.
I mean, Pulse, what do you think, man? Meme coins are hot. People have been saying market's down, we're in the red, things aren't. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I woke up this morning and one of my buddies woke up to $200,000 off $100 investment he made last night. So I don't know what people are talking about. That things are red. There are people making money. What
Why
I've
didn't you
heard,
send me the CA?
I didn't say, hey, player, I didn't invest either. I went to bed. I was asleep, so unfortunately, I did not wake up with all that money. So, with that said, though, Pulse, what's your thoughts, on the current state of the meme coin market? Do you think, with the current market as a whole, stocks, coins, the stock market, everything's in the red? Do you think this is going to affect the meme coins or the meme coins going to continue to thrive?
I think just when you let your guard down, just when you stable up, is when that meme hits and slaps you right in the face, man. I can think of examples, and I don't have to name them because I bet you can think of one or two that you were just out of the game or you thought it was going to be a regular Tuesday and something comes out. And maybe you even saw it. God, I know this happened where you saw the ticker and you just were like, that's not something I'm into today. I'm at a stoplight. I'm just clearing my notifications. And then 3 days from now, it's at a $500 million market cap and you're already too late. Never, ever expect that they're sleeping. And we're about to go into, I wonder if anyone has talked about this. I have in one place at least. We're about to start the most memeable presidency of the United States history. This is going to be so easy if you're the kind of person that clips things and makes memes. And I don't just mean him. I just mean the whole situation. It's going to be a gonzo circus. And I think that anytime you let your guard down, whether it's animal related, which I will say it's refreshing to have. Everybody already said it's refreshing to have the real animal here because I had no less than like 7 spaces where 3 groups of people fought over a dead squirrel. R.I.P. Peanut. But having the living animal here is a bull signal for me because we're at least dealing with animals that are in this plane of existence. I'm bullish on the whole thing. Memes are positive. I'll take it into the new administration, Roger.
No, you're right. And, I want to take this question to the panelists because you make some good points, right? We have the genre of the animals. We've had the genre of the AI. We've had the genre of, someone passing away or Elon makes a tweet, right? But do we believe, is it from a panelist standpoint, as you guys are involved in this meme coin cycle, do you think right now, if you're a trader, should you be investing into meme coins that are political and be preparing yourself for when Trump goes to office? Is that a good play right now? Or do you believe that we're just have no clue in the next 2 weeks what is a good play at this point? Claire, I want to take that to you.
I'm one of those people. I love to play both sides of the table. So the simplest way for me is I don't know who's going to win, so I just provide liquidity and take fees. Especially when we had Bowden and Trump. Those 2 tokens. Someone made it. There was a huge liquidity pool between the 2 of them as well. So I literally just provided exotics on both sides, and saw the better side win, from just taking fees. But it, you you know I faded Fartcoin, I faded Butthole. you know I'm just, like we talked about earlier in the week, I am just glad that the meta right now is semi-political but also good. Like we saw, like, and I don't even like, the way I heard it, you were like genre of AI tokens, genre of animal tokens. That's almost like it's in the past. No, that's now. Yes, it is amazing we have a live dog, but just think of how much your token's going to go up if your dog gets sick. I don't mean that in a mean way. I don't wish anything
No,
bad
but
on
you're
Kobe.
right. You're absolutely right. No, dogs with cancer would be the hyper meta based on what happened with that jerk a couple of weeks ago. And I'll say it. I know what you're trying to dance around. They pay me the money to say the terrible things. No, dogs with cancer would hypermoon. That's terrible. Look
Yeah.
at Luke rubbing his face
Well,
like
Wait,
I have nothing wrong. I think Mira was awesome. That was a great Christmas Day miracle piece. He was honest from the get-go. He's like, I'm going to sell and exit every dollar I can out of this. Do not buy this,
Yeah, but he didn't tell you that the next 3 other tokens he got into either. Taco, what if I told you, if I looked at coin market cap right now, 6 of the top 10 meme coins are still dogs?
That would, dogs are man's
Dogs,
best
dogs,
friend.
penguins, and frogs.
Yeah. Dog is man's best friend. So this is a one of those tried and true formulas. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like it's people like the cute side of things. Animals bring more, you could bring more memes outside of politics to animals. Like I think someone's going to make a meme token on their cat that like just sits on his butt and call him Stumpy, like that's in and of itself is just funny.
But it's also, the internet's also a dark place, right? Because we also saw a dark time on Pump Fund as well, right?
We did.
And I think that's a great point that you make, Claire, because you have two sides to the coin. You do have the people that have humility, that have emotions, that find connections to these animals, and as Pulse mentioned, has seen through data, has been the most successful, and that's holding on the long term. But we've also seen the dark side of this, where we've seen the Pump Fund side of live streaming, and that we've also seen masses love that side of things as well, right? So
Yeah.
there is that balance we have to figure out, is how are we going to move forward rather than step back? Because I feel like that moment took us a step back, right?
Well, and I don't, and I hate to, I apologize. Someone tell me to shut up. I have 1,000 opinions.
You're here to not shut up, player. Go, go.
But like we saw how well like the Saw movies did. Like the first Saw movie built on like 50K, and then they added a little bit more money to the budget each time, and then they went back and then they went big, and that didn't do well, and so they cut back the budget. And Saw 6 I think also did great. But we saw like in all of these films, like the idea of people watching in, that story of into fear and destruction. And I'll be honest, like we saw this with like Craigslist, we saw this with like all other streaming platforms for a minute, and it had to go through its growing pains, and Pump Fund is such a small team. Everyone hates on them for making so much money. Why are you hating on success and security? Like the only bad time something has happened with Pump Fund was when an employee did something bad, and the Pump Fund went out of their way and rectified that. And that was tiny. That dude was so stupid. He should have just sat and waited for his token allocation, and he would never have to like work a day in his life again. But when you have so much money, the access or to that person so much money, people get greedy, and we see this in meme tokens all the time. Money. I don't want to say pollutes absolute or corrupts absolute, because we see a lot of people do good with money. Like I am so happy Ron from Ron's Basement, like unicorn fart dust is another great story. Like Roger, like you were saying, we don't want to say the words for that meta that happened, but I just want to call it hate meta, and we're not on that. Everyone's
Yeah.
got over that, and I'll be honest, I saw people make a heck ton of money during that meta. I don't want those tokens in my wallet. My wallet's public.
Yeah.
You know?
No, you make a great point too. And there's actually this new meta happening now that I see, and it's cannabis, right? Cannabis in the United States has been transitioning, to becoming legal in all states in the US. And also we've obviously have countries like Amsterdam and stuff, right? There's this new coin that just came out. It's called the Canna coin, CANA. It gained over 400% in the first 2 days, right? So, and I also think that's interesting because I do see a market of the cannabis industry in getting involved in the token sector, right? I'll be honest, I don't know how the relevance would be, but I do think it's inevitable that we'll see these type of companies start launching inside of the meme coins, cannabis, energy drinks. I mean, you think of anything kind of outside that takes chances and takes risks as a brand, why wouldn't they jump into meme coins? Dan, what's your thoughts on that? Do you see more of these brands that take these risks kind of could see these meme coin sector as an avenue for marketing and going into that?
Yeah, I think if you look at crypto in general and specifically the meme coin market, it's becoming a lot more digestible for not only the mainstream and retail, but also industry as well. I think we continue to see growth in it, especially with the bull run that's coming up, or that we perhaps are already in 2025. Everybody's expecting massive things, and there's a lot of talk about a meme coin super cycle. I do think that we will see industry and institutions even perhaps starting to invest in meme coins and capitalizing on the growth in the sector. How they do that is sort of yet to be seen. I suppose you just gave an example with the cannabis, but obviously I'm here promoting Kovu, and I think that animal coins still reign supreme in the meme coin space. It's hard to actually put a good trail of thought together with Kovu's eyes just piercing straight through the screen, bro. He's he's so hard to take your eyes off. But no, man, to answer your question, I do think that industry will move towards meme coins in a big way, especially with the hype that's going to come in around this year.
Do you think they'll rotate out though into more utility stuff?
It's hard to say, and it depends on what utility you are referring to. Like a lot of the alts that claim to bring utility, it is hard to say. With industry, I think they probably do look for things such as faster speed, better blockchain security, all of those sort of utilities. But the larger population don't really care about that sort of stuff. Most people are just here to make money. And I think industry and large business will probably want the same. It'll be to make money. So they're going to capitalize on the areas that that have the most potential to make money. And of course, there are ways to build utility into meme coins. For example, we are taking a path of charity and contributions to things like dog shelters and animal rescues and these sorts of things. And we believe that it's a really unique marketing strategy, because the more our price increases, the more money we can donate to dog rescues and follow the stories of these pups that we personally are saving. The more marketing power that gives us, the more positive press we're going to get, and it's a snowball effect in that way. So you may not say that is utility, but it does bring real world use case to a project like ours. And I think big business and obviously retail are more than happy to get behind something like that.
Yeah.
Do you think though that you lose like the whole current idea around meme coins is they have zero purpose? So
Yeah,
and so,
but the real quick, Taco, because I want to touch on something real quick. You know, you mentioned real world utility, right? And I think that goes to the next topic that we do need to touch on. You know, and it's, you know, at some point for these meme coins to have long term stability and to be able to transition, they do need some type of long term, utility of some sort, right? For these users to see value, right? You know, at the end of the day, you know, Kovu, for example, right? You know, there's a lifespan, you know, and then Kovu could live on for 50 to 100 years through this project, right? If you build the right utilities around it, right? So it doesn't have to go to the lifespan of the actual animal, it goes to the lifespan and utilities that you build around it, right, Dan?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to touch on. You said it pretty perfectly. It doing something like this and taking on a marketing strategy. Of course, we're going to have partnerships with influencers and the typical marketing that comes with meme coins. You know, you want to get it in front of as many eyes as possible, but partnering with charities, and in particular, we've actually already partnered with one called Retriever Rescue in Las Vegas. These guys fly over to South Korea and save pups from meat farms. They literally, I don't need to go into too much detail, but these pups are bred to be tortured and then harvested for human consumption. It's horrific. But we partnered with these guys because somebody in our community had actually adopted a pup from them and brought them to our attention. And we fell in love with the owner of the charity, Danielle, and we've already made our first contribution to them, saved a bunch of pups. Well, not physically, but with the money, they will be saved, and we'll be able to follow the story with these pups. Taking a route like this does give our project significant longevity. I think, you know, as Roger mentioned, beyond the life of Kovu. Kovu's only 3 years old, so hopefully he lives a long, happy, prosperous life. But beyond the life of project, yeah, he will. But this project can live on if we really do this in the right way. It gives us serious longevity, as in we believe that we can create a household name here, as what started as a meme coin has turned into something that's fixed real world problems and made a significant difference in the real world.
Well, I'll tell you this: if I was investing money, I would love to invest money to people that answer that way, because you know that's the type of mindset you need, because there is a lifespan to everything. And Block, I actually want to take this to you and get your perspective here. You know, from the meme coin perspective, right? Everyone says there's no real utility. I've been one of the biggest to say that meme coins could be a fad until people realize that we need to build long-term stability within this tokenomic side of the meme sector. You know, we're going to see a hard time and a lot of people get rugged. You know, what's your thoughts on meme coins having purpose versus the ones that don't have purpose? Obviously, the common answer is, yeah, we lost blocks. So 21 million, I'm going to take this question to you. You know, obviously, meme coins with purpose is the right answer that will have the longevity. But what do you believe is that long-term, utility that makes sense for coins? Is it going to be strategic? Like, what's your opinion on that overall aspect of that? 21 million, were you there? Oh, we lost him too. So
no, I'm
Luke,
right here.
21. So yeah, the question is from your perspective, right? There's obviously the obvious answer, right? A token with utility probably is the most sense for people to invest in, right? But from a long-term perspective, where do you see the token, you know, from the token side, where do you see these utilities coming from? Is it going to be physical utilities? Is it going to be digital? What's the most common factor you see coming into this industry in the next 5 years for the tokenomics and meme coin?
So this is actually a great question. Now, this is a digital world, right? Everything we do in cryptos obviously brings us all connected. So us in the space, we're in different continents, right? We're different countries, different parts of even America, or let's say different time zones. So to me, I think one of the biggest things that's going to come into crypto is actually gaming. If you look, Xbox and PlayStation, I believe, have a network and a marketplace that are coming out. GTA 6 is one of the most anticipated games probably of this decade. And that's going to have something incorporated with blockchain. So I think the part that not us here, but most people don't talk about is the gaming sector, because it's a $1 billion industry. And I think most gamers don't like the idea of the crypto bros just yet. But the play to earn, we've seen different kind of games that just don't work out for the tokenomics. So, you know, there's always gonna have that interest of people who want to make money and help in the real world, or people want to who do charitable things here on the digital world. But to me, it's got to be that connection that kind of brings them together, and that one thing is going to be gaming. So we're all here. Like I said, if we were all to hop into a game or a tournament, I'm somebody who works for game builders on the Kronos network. So when you sit there and again you're creating games and you're going to, like I said, GDC, a gaming development conference, and you've seen that every single booth people will incorporate sooner or later some kind of blockchain technology. To me, that's really the thing that we're looking forward, at least I'm looking forward to. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's really what the big difference is going to be. There's things we can do in the real world, but think about how much money, like, right, we have Player Taco, I'm sorry, Roger, right? Esports, my bad. Player Taco is Roger, who has esports, right? The esports world is kind of booming right now. The company I work for on Kronos, they've actually built a school in the Philippines where they're teaching kids how to game. So when I was growing up, they were telling kids, you're wasting your time playing games. Now we're building schools because the old school doesn't work, right? Now we're just telling people, hey, you need to figure out, forget a career, this will be your career. It's figuring out how to stream and just play games, because before you know it, we're going to be able to get paid through this. I think you'll be paid for GTA 6, and not just on an esports level, but games are going to have to incorporate, because they'll make more money, I believe, by selling a secondary market. Imagine if Fortnite had their skins where they released 1,000, but then that 1,000 was able to sell and sell and sell. And every time it's sold, they got a small portion of it. I believe they'll make more money in the long run, but yeah, that's my answer.
So as I mentioned a minute ago, I'd like to hear from Luke. The top 5 or 6 meme coins listed by CoinMarketCap are all dogs. That's the meta that started. It's the meta that sticks around, because if you go all the way back to Doge, which I don't have to recount all that, it's always been that. And then Shiba Inu, the number 1 ERC20, was just a rip on that, right? So what does it mean to you guys to be positioned as a dog, knowing that that's just never going to change as the top animal?
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. And the reasons, cats and dogs, they're the most searched things online. We know as soon as the internet came about and YouTube came about, where everyone was on cat and dog videos, it's because people can relate to it. It's everyone interacts with them day to day. They have a personality. I think they add something to us as a species, humans. It goes back way, way back in culture. So it's like a dog being your best friend is the oldest meme in human society, So that's why I think we're seeing them there, and they're standing the test of time. We can see a lot of trends coming through these AI bots, or whether it's a political coin, but those times are going to pass. There's segments that will last 3 months, maybe 6 months, and there will always be new trends popping up. But the reason we've been able to see Dogecoin stand through as long as almost Bitcoin has existed to still be one of the top memes today, it's a testament to the category. And it's going to keep growing, but I think it'll narrow down. There'll be different plays on the dog thing. So Doge, was the first. It obviously got endorsed by Elon, and then Shiba became based upon Elon, and then everyone sort of got into that narrative. So I think it's becoming exhausted to a point of just taking a meme of a 2D image and then just trying to build a brand around a dog that has no meaning. But
do you
moving
think
into this space,
people are more discerning when it comes to getting in than they were, obviously, when there was less options? Is it just because it's a better consumer?
Yeah, I think the market's it is being flooded just in general. You look at Pump Fund, there's tens of thousands of memes being created a day. So eventually people are going to stop to just jumping on any sort of train of something that looks cool and start looking to something that is going to have a strong community, maybe some action that's actually being taken. And I think what we're seeing now is the paradigm shift from useless meme with no utility to people trying to find purpose. And this plays into a whole lot of other larger global sort of metrics of loneliness and like lack of connection and lack of purpose. And, maybe struggling in the job market and not being able to get ahead because of inflation and just so many factors that are converging right now, which is creating this meme super culture, because it's providing personal connection. Like Dan and I have formed a great relationship over the past couple months, just out of nowhere, through like a shared value and working on something that is so ethereal that it's hard for some of my friends to understand what the hell I do. But like for us to all come together in the VC chats and just morning guys, like how you going? And it's just we've created this network of friends around the world, and it's an amazing thing to feel connected and to be driving forward this like hive mind of purpose. So that's a very long way to go about answering your question.
No, but you said something that trips one of my triggers, and I'm not going to make this a very emotional conversation for everyone, but purposelessness, the need for connection and stuff. There's some really good mental health spaces and opportunities to talk about why the statistics for those feelings are increasing in different populations across the spectrum, but people are feeling less connected despite better, faster connection speeds promised by my provider at every turn. At least that's what they say on my bill when I get it every month. It seems like we have the ability to speak to anyone at any time, and we do it less than ever. My phone can talk to anyone I want in the world because I can make phone calls on X, and I'm getting and receiving and sending less than ever before. Meme coins are allowing people to come together and forge, either anonymously through their profiles. Some people are doxxed, though, these real bonds that someone outside of the space that you just mentioned doesn't understand. They don't get it because it's not a parasocial relationship like what my daughter has with Taylor Swift, because Taylor doesn't know my daughter exists. You guys have got a full digital relationship with someone that might as well be an AI avatar to your loved ones and friends, right? That's what meme coin communities really offer, right? In a world where connections are harder, you guys have, you called it shared values, right? Shared moral social constructs and stuff. Am I touching on that right, Luke?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then Dan, your thoughts, because he brought you up and mentioned how important that's been for you.
I was just going to say, and I forgot to apologize in advance. Obviously, Luke and I are both Australian, so if we're just like killing people with our slang and you can't quite understand everything we're saying, I do apologize. But we only live a couple of hours away from each other too, so we're on the same time zone. We're active at the same times every day, and obviously both pretty core leaders in our community. So yeah, we have become sort of best of friends online. We haven't met each other yet, but we certainly will. It makes it easy that we only live a couple of hours apart. But yeah, I mean, this is a lot of fun for us. As much as it's hard work and we're doing big, long days in front of the computer, like my phone screen time has gone up to levels that I've never seen before in my life. But we have a lot of fun doing it. As we previously touched on, we're video chatting every day, getting to know each other. It's not all work. It's a lot of just like community chatting with each other. What have you been doing today? Talking about our past and stuff like that. So all of us, or many of us, I should say, are doxed, and we all know who each other are and where we're from. And it's cool, man. It's cool. It is nice. Like I personally don't lack social connection in the real life, but since taking on this journey, I've like almost put that to the other side and consume myself within the COVID community, because it is so much fun and there's so many cool people in here that I do really connect with. We have so much in common and we have so many differences as well. And I think the main message is it's a lot of fun. We're having a good time over here.
The genuine look on his face right now is why people get into meme coin culture. If I could bottle the emotion you had right now and shove it into the face of every financial expert I've done stuffy BTC shows with, Dan, because I've been up here with some people, my bro, where they're like, oh, Bitcoin is everything. I don't understand meme coins. And it's like, if I could just give them a whiff of what you are sniffing right now and have them be like, oh, what's that? That's opium. Have you ever smelled opium? Yeah. Oh, no. Well, that's how addiction starts. A little bit's free. Now you got to ape in with the HBA. I get you guys in. They don't get it because I don't know if it's that they don't need this or if they don't have the same social constructs and stuff like that, but there's just something intrinsic to the way you're describing that. And it's that quality that I cannot market, no matter how you explain it to someone. You have to experience. So thank you you were like whimsically staring up. You had a beautiful glow in your eye and everything. That video was crisp, you guys. Mark, you're laughing down there. You know this, Mark. You've seen this before. He was really telling the story, wasn't he? It was so good. I'm excited to have that conversation. So let's use that as a perfect pivot to the AMA. Roger, do you want to throw down? We've got a little IBC side note, a little commercial action before we start the show here. You guys know a little bit about IBC because Roger can tell you a little bit more if you're out there listening.
Yeah, guys, and I don't want you to forget about IBC. IBC is Mario's company. They've been around since 2017, working with some of the biggest projects, including many on the Binance Launchpad that have launched last year as well, and some of the biggest launches going year to date. If you are a VC-backed project, a meme coin, a listed project, reach out to us. They're one of the most active investors in the space and also do incubation and marketing services. Definitely DM Mario's account or the Roundtable account, and the team will connect you directly to IBC. So with that said, as he mentioned, we are going to go into the AMA section portion of today's show. And we obviously have Kovu, who's going to start answering and talking and introducing himself about this project. But it looks like Kovu is sleeping. So I'll leave it to Mark to do the intro. Mark, with that, let us know what Kovu is, what made you create this project, and give us the backstory of it all.
My mic was muted. Can you hear me?
You're good. We hear you loud and clear,
We
brother.
got you, bro.
All right, cool. Yeah, I didn't actually create the coin. One of my followers, I guess, one of my fans, DM'd me one day and he said, "Hey, man, we created a coin based on your dog. Would you like to be a part of it?" And at first, I screenshotted the message, just showed it to my friends. I was like, "Yeah, you see this?" And they were like, "Well, that's kind of crazy. You should see what's up with it." So I DM'd them back and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And ever since, I've been grinding with the community every day. Like, I spend most of my time doing this than I do anything else. Like, I usually would wake up for work around like 4 a.m. But instead, some days I'll call off work and I wake up to do this instead from like 4 a.m. to basically midnight. And it's been like this ever since I've joined the team.
I love it, man.
If you've never done something like this before, which it sounds like you came from outside, doing TikTok and everything, man. Crypto is a wild ride. It's a roller coaster. And when they start buckling you in, you're like, why are there all these safety harnesses? What are we doing here? It's fun. So out of everything we've talked about the community and everything. What's the biggest asset for Kuvo? What's the asset that you hold best?
I think a lot of the people like the community we've built here because I've been so engaged with the community myself and showing Kovu all the time. Like, I'm not just one of those guys that just like come through every now and then. I'm literally here every single day talking with the community. Like Dan said earlier, I'm on voice chat with these guys every day, not just them two, but like the whole community.
I can let me jump in real quick and help Mark there, because what he's trying to say is that he is easily the biggest asset to our project. Him actually being there and so engaged with the community. It's hard for him to say I am the asset, but he definitely is the biggest asset for our project. I mean, if we talk a little bit about fundamentals, we have a community supplier. So we started building a marketing wallet early on that now holds 1.4% of total supply. So anybody who comes in now has access to that marketing potential. And obviously, as the market cap of our project increases, that number exponentially gets bigger. And we have a lot of money down the track for things like listings and large marketing and those sorts of things, and the charity donations, of course. But that is a massive thing. Having 1.4% of the total COVID supply for the community, all of that's going to be spent completely democratically. So the community decides where that goes. At the moment, we refuse to touch it. We want to wait until the market cap is much higher, and then of course it will be worth more money. But that is another thing that gives our community and our project real strength.
And why don't you tell me a little bit about the history of the team? Because I heard it from Mark, Dan, but why don't you tell me a little bit about it as well?
Yeah, so if you go way back to the beginning of Kovu, neither myself nor Luke were there. It was somewhat of a fail because they relied solely on the hype of Mark's social media following that he built, and it did work. Really, it was really successful early on. They had quite a few big pumps, but ultimately the team didn't really execute properly, and it had sort of fallen to levels where it was almost sort of dead. And that's when I came in and met Mark, and I was like, what is going on here? Why is this project not, through the roof? And so I kind of just stepped up and said, hey, if you guys will have me, I'd love to jump in here and write out a really detailed marketing plan, a roadmap, and really try and do something with this, because it has all the potential in the world, and I think we can do something special. And they just took that like a duck to water. Immediately we started pumping, we started bringing in new investors. The community was growing, people were active again. And from there, we really have not looked back. So I started bringing in trustworthy people like Luke and guys that I'd met on other projects who I knew had not just a love for a project like this, but also the funding. Like we could build a team that could really propel the project. And of course, that is how we were able to secure this deal and get on with IBC. So that is kind of how the team formed. There's 9 of us within the core team, and then we have a broader administrator and mod group that's about 20 strong. But the whole community is involved in everything. Everything is completely transparent. As I said, we video chat every day. They know what we're working on constantly. There's nothing like we're working on things behind the scenes. Everything is fully transparent. So the community has a lot of say in what we do as well.
Yeah, I was just commenting to you guys right before we started the show, because I was looking at your guys' token on Photon and stuff, and you guys were at a healthy 4.1 million market cap. Recently, since our conversation, you guys dropped it to 3.5. So what a time to come in a dip. And I was just talking to you guys about, is this the time to come in? Is the dip coming? And it just shows how active you guys are. And that's super interesting. And with that said, I'm kind of interested now, maybe as a possible investor. This is no financial advice. Like, what are you guys working towards? Like, what is the goal for 2025 for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, like we're starting strong. We are only very new as well, so this is all about just like building the community, getting eyes on us. Obviously, as we grow and have more time as the market develops more as well, it's setting us up for a lot of opportunity. As we spoke about earlier, the beautiful thing about a decentralized system like this is that it's a hive mind of community choices. So as our network grows, our impact of where we go is fully like versatile. And just like we ended up raising money for this retriever rescue, it literally happened in hours. We're like, hey guys, we're thinking about doing this. Who's keen? You put it to a vote, all of a sudden money floods in, and then we're saving dogs. So I think it's really about like, it's the community growth. It's the versatility of where we can go. Nothing needs to be fully planned. And that's the beauty of it, because I think a lot of previous projects with a roadmap can be rigid. And if they're not reaching their roadmap goals, people can lose faith. So keeping like the fluidity, keeping the passion and just the drive for anything is possible, I think doesn't put a ceiling on anything. And that's the sort of thing that allows us to grow to an exponential zone. This is a belief system. And if people can get on board, we can do amazing things. That's what like Disney was. It started with an image of a little mouse, and then it turned into the Disney company that has impacted billions of people over hundreds of years. So I think a lot of people don't realize that that's kind of where we are in meme culture at the moment. We're at the foundation of something that we can't even see. We're at the precipice of what's possible. So we've got lots of ideas, whether that's like doing a Kovu animated series, where we're kind of, building this personality around what Kovu represents, and it's goodwill. And we want everyone to be involved in that. And different community members have different skills, and they're going to bring that to the table, and we can go any direction that makes sense. Yeah.
No, I love it, man. And you guys have, a brilliant TikTok account. I think it's one of the best ones I've seen when it comes to a meme coin account and their social media presence. I mean, I see Kovu eating steak. I see Kovu his birthday. I see him out in the snow in his element. I see him in his jet. Man, I mean, if you haven't checked out this Kovu account, if I didn't have a volume issue, I would share my screen. But every time I go to it, the TikTok goes a massive loud sound. So I don't want to rug the space. But I definitely highly suggest you check out this TikTok account of Kovu as well. And that kind of sets me up for the next question, right? As you guys continue to face this market in the meme coins, what challenges has the team faced while building Kovu, and how have you overcome them? Coming into 2025.
Luke, do you want to hit it, or you want me to go?
You take it then.
Challenges, man. It's, to be honest, it so far. I mean, we would have to speak to the broader community. Could probably, as in the guys who have been here from the start, like when this graduated from Pump Fun, they could probably talk more on that because there was a lot of challenges early on. But honestly, since myself and Luke and a few others within the core team and Mark really stepped up and got more active on a day-to-day basis, there has been very little challenges. Everything that we have put our mind to, we've achieved so far. And obviously it's not going to be smooth sailing the whole way. Nothing is a straight line up. But so far, so good. I suppose the only thing that we contend with a little bit is the same that every other coin and every other community faces, and that's that when the price is going up, everybody is active and bullish and happy, and there's so much hype. And of course, if the price is going sideways or there's a dip, there's it's a little bit more quiet. But the main core people who are fully invested are always here and always thriving. And we all know the potential. Like the difference between, like you said before, the difference between 4.1 mil and 3.5 mil is nothing to us. We are all still accumulating. We have quite large holdings, but these numbers are nothing to us. We'll be laughing at this market cap down the track, I personally believe, not financial advice. But yeah.
So with the community, do you guys have any kind of a unique structure or anything? How are your members built up? Is it a Telegram? Do you guys do anything on Discord? How are people connecting with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Luke. My bad.
Yeah. No, we've got Telegram is probably our best place to reach the community. I think just keeping it in one succinct zone is the best to get the most interaction with everyone. We're also doing our live VCs there every day, so you can come and interact with Kovu. And yeah, so we've got TikTok as well. Obviously, the reach of TikTok is going to an outside of the crypto space as well. So we've got a lot of new people coming into the Telegram through there to meet Kovu. Yeah, we're also going to be doing an airdrop. So if you want to come and join our Telegram, I'm going to be doing a 5K airdrop split between anyone that buys $25 of Kovu in the next 24 hours as well. So we're always doing things like that are giving some supply out to help get people involved, get some skin in the game. Yeah.
You want to get in there too, Dan?
I mean, Luke kind of said it best, but I think a really important point is that we do get a lot of people outside of the crypto world that want to come and have exclusive video chats with Kovu within the Telegram, and pretty quickly they learn about what we're actually doing here. So yeah, we see a lot of people come in and go, oh my God, I want to meet Kovu. And we host video chats and they're like, I can't believe Kovu is right here. And I can talk to him, and Mark makes him, he can speak, he didn't do it earlier because he's being a bit stubborn, but we do have a lot of people that are outside of the crypto world come in, and then we can teach those people, hey, this is what we're doing. There's an opportunity to make money here. And also we're giving back to charity. And honestly, I don't have the statistics. I wish I did, but I would say 90% of people go, all right, I'm going to give it a crack. So we're actually, we're converting people into the crypto and the meme space. And very quickly they do what we've all done and get consumed by the community. They end up spending all of their time in there, and they're completely in love with it. So yeah, it's really cool in that aspect as well, teaching people about the crypto space.
my mum was just making memes all last night. She ran into me. She's like, I've made a few memes. What do you think of these? I'm like, Mum, they're absolutely terrible. But good on you.
That means they're bangers. That means they'll hit.
Yeah, I'm sure your mom makes the dankest memes, Luke. You don't have to lie.
We've got a lot of mums in the COVID community, actually. Yeah, a lot of mums and wives doing the legwork.
Yeah, well, I would expect that TikTok would have no less of a funnel than that, right? When people are seeing dog videos, joining your Telegram and finding a couple of young Australian hunks such as yourselves, it's not going to have a very low stick rate. They're going to be there for at least a week or two to check, like, dogs and hunks. Wow, this is incredible. I'll stick around for at least a minute. What, buy some coins? Okay. You guys are killing the game. You're killing me, making me laugh. So what are we looking at then for 2025? Do you guys do any kind of price projections? I know you're talking about doing some giveaways. What are some final thoughts you've got for everybody? What would hype it up before we wrap up?
I might start, and then Luke, I'll handball it over to you. That's an an AFL term, handball. I don't know if you guys have seen Australian Football League, but a bit different to what you do over there with your with your football. Plans for 2025, we've kind of outlined a lot of that. We really are going to push on the charity front. In terms of price predictions, I think it's obviously impossible to give a prediction on where the price is going to be at the end of this bull run. We know what the potential of the project is, and we all strongly believe in it, not just the team, but the community as well. You know, if I had to give you a ballpark, our price targets are in the hundreds of millions, and that seems extremely ambitious from where we are now. And I don't want to go and give financial advice to anyone and promise them that's going to happen, but we are all fully dedicated. For better or for worse, I've literally sold everything else. My entire crypto portfolio is Kovu, and that might sound like cap. But it's not. Because I'm so invested in this project, because I spend all of my time on it, I decided that was the best thing for me to do, and it means that I'm not spending time looking at other charts, checking in on other communities or anything like that. It is 100% Kovu, and I think with a dedication like that from the team, and also the community knowing that that's how hard we're working, the potential is limitless here. On the exchange front, I mean, if we wanted to touch on that very briefly, we kind of have the idea that we're going to buck the trend of the standard listing procedure of going up through the tiers of the listings. All of those things are going to happen organically. I feel like our money, especially our community wallet, is far better spent on direct marketing and getting our project in front of more eyes. We personally are going to aim straight for a top 5 in the world exchange. And of course, again, sounds very ambitious, excuse me, but, and obviously you need to match their listing criteria, which is quite a way away for us. But I think if that's the level that we aim for, if we aim for the stars, then everything else is just going to fall into place on the way up there. So that's kind of the way we're looking at 2025 for Kovu.
No, I love it, man. And, you know, as I mentioned to you guys, I love the thought process you guys have to this project and how you guys are looking towards the future. So I'm very excited for the future of Kovu. And, you know, as we're getting to the end of this show, you know, we're getting to the last few minutes, you know, is there anything you want the audience or maybe someone new that's watching? You know, this could go to Luke, this could go to Mark or Dan. You know, what would you like them to know about Kovu and the project, and maybe some things that you guys have planned that you haven't talked about yet?
What haven't we talked about yet? We've wrapped it up pretty well, I'd say. Like the main points to get across are that Kovu's active, Mark's active, Dan and I are active, in our community are very dedicated to the next year of growth. We've got an incredible booming market where meme tokens are absolutely ahead of the entire market in where the money's flowing into. We're creating meaning, we're creating purpose, and we're relentless in our mission. And I think there's just so much positive news to come. You know, as we've said, we're only a month into it. And that's where most of the groundwork is done. It's about building momentum. It's about getting into as many people's eyes and minds as we can and showing them what we're all about. And we've got the organic reach with Kovu on TikTok and YouTube and all other socials. And it's a snowball effect. So I know we've all seen it. Sometimes it just goes from 3 mil market cap and blows up to 300 overnight. It's just about momentum. And right now we're trending on CoinGecko as the top gaining meme, dog meme. So, when those things start to trickle, it just keeps compounding from there. We've got lots to do, and we're just really appreciating being on the show. So thanks so much for giving us this platform. And it's been really nice to talk to all of you as well and let us to show Kovu to the world.
Mark, why don't you get Kovu back up here to say goodbye before we tune out here?
No, I was just going to comment, though, that if there was any example of your dedication, that Kovu sat there for the whole show without moving.
Yeah, pretty much the whole time, yeah.
Like, shout out to Kovu, because he did leave when we said goodbye, pretty much. So he did stay for the whole show. Pulse, I don't know if you saw that.
His igloo, I think. Has he gone to play in his igloo, Mark?
Probably. Kovu, come here. Kovu.
But with that said, we are getting a wrap up, and I'll let Pulse kind of wrap us up here. But I do want to say, Luke, Mark, Player, and Block and Dan, thank you guys so much for all joining us and presenting this amazing project. I personally am going to be keeping an eye on Kovu and what you guys are building. So with that said, Pulse, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, I got a couple of thoughts before we head out. First, I'd like to say, Kovu, who's a good dog? Who's a good dog? You're such a good dog, Kovu. I appreciate you for coming to the show. Good dog. And everybody else, I appreciate you, too, for coming to the show. Mark, my advice to you, not that I'm in a position to give it, would be that I've seen a lot of TikTok, Instagram celebrity metas come across this desk in the last 6 months. These guys could be onto something, right? And if you guys team up and play it together, it comes down to that one right TikTok. I think that's what it takes. When you guys talk about going from 3 million to wherever, man, you never know who shares a TikTok. You never know. You're so close to 1 million already on your account and stuff. You guys are doing so good. So congratulations to your efforts on there. Congratulations to Dan and Luke for spotting what could be a great gym here. And I appreciate everybody for listening and watching the show. Taco, thank you for rolling up Block, and 21 for being here on the panel, and Roger and everybody else at IBC. This has been another Mario Nawfal X live broadcast. My name is Pulse Digital. I'll be back again next time with Roger or somebody else bringing you the crypto news, guys. Keep your finger on the pulse, and I'll see you next time.
And watch out for Kovu.
Later, everyone.